Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our crew. We can't thank you enough for visiting us today. I'd like to let you know who we have with us today that brought the helicopter in. We have Justin McCarthy, who is the Chief Warrant Officer Pilot. He's connected to us. We have Timberlane graduate and flight medic Ethan Major, Staff Sergeant. Justin Henderson, Staff Sergeant, Crew Chief. Specialist John Webster. And our Chief Warrant Officer and Pilot in Command, Jonathan Shallow. Let's welcome our crew. We'll now have our Timberlane Troops Organization lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. You may be seated. To welcome you all here today, students, faculty, staff from our local libraries, invited guests. I'd like to also welcome Representative Norman Major and his wife. Thank you for being with us here today. Thank you to the Air National Guard and their crew for joining us today. Most importantly, I would also like to thank our veterans who have joined us today. We are honored to have you in our presence. And Timberlane Regional School District is honored today to host this POW MIA Recognition Day ceremony. This solemn occasion gives us an opportunity to thank our veterans and to stop and pause for those who have given the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. For hundreds of years, citizens of the United States have served in the armed forces, from Lexington Green to Kabul, Afghanistan, defending our freedoms whenever they were called, without question and with honor. It is their sacrifice that allows us to live as we do today. We pause today on National POW MIA Recognition Day to pay tribute and to remember those who suffered at the hands of our enemies as prisoners of war, and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice and have not yet returned to their home and their loved ones. We honor the veterans that are here with us today for their service around the globe, when called, went to duty, did their duty, returned home, and became citizens again in the United States. It is said that all gave some, and some gave all. Thank you hardly seems enough for all that the veterans have given to us, all that they have brought to the battlefield, all that they have brought to the military, and all that they have brought to their nation upon return. We are humbled to be with you today, and Timberlane is proud to have you here on our campus. Today is the beginning also of a major program, so I'd like to also thank all of the 9 libraries that are part of this program and partner with us here at the school. And for the next 3 months, there'll be over 50 events that will be focusing on veterans issues and the history of the Vietnam War. I would like to bring to the podium Brianna Sullivan from the Plastow Public Library to talk about that project and give us some insight into the events of the next 3 months. Brianna, thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And I want to also first start by saying thank you to all the veterans who are here today. This has been, I think, a more amazing morning than we dreamed, although Alice made you dream really big about this event. So when we first all came together, a handful of libraries, to do a community read is how this started. And one of the books on a list of suggested books was The Things They Carry by Tim O'Brien. And we said, well, wouldn't that be great if we did something that, talks about veterans and connects the community with veterans, and especially the Vietnam War, given the history of how that all played out. And this has turned into more than I think any of us even imagined. I see Lois from Kimball and Diane nodding at me back there. As Scott said, when we were in the library, we now have over 50 free programs among 9 community libraries and here at Timberlane that are geared to bring our community together around veterans and current military members and their families and the sacrifices that they've made. Recognize that sacrifice, recognize that service, thank them, and help people who don't have a connection with the military or a veteran understand as best we can what that sacrifice means. So we have today the helicopter landing, we have a veteran services fair later on today. We have 35 groups coming, government agencies, nonprofits, businesses, all that provide services, products, and support to veterans. So we're really excited about this kickoff this morning. I want to also thank the helicopter staff. Thank you so much for being here today. This was cool and amazing and a really great way to kick off an amazing program that I'm so proud to be a part of, and I think I can speak for all the our planning team for Community Stories. We're just really proud of how the community has come together to help us put on this program. We have another great keynote event tomorrow night. It's going to be visual dispatches from the Vietnam War. It's the Courier Museum and our Vietnam Veteran Advisor, Wayne Nelson, who are going to be putting that on. And we start with a concert, and it's really a more serious way to kick off this 9 weeks of programming. So I'm very excited to be a part of this. It's going to be amazing. Make sure that everybody gets a copy of our program newsletter so you can see the dates and times of all of the programs that we're putting on. Get a copy of the things they carried from your local library. We're doing book discussions. Come to some of the film screenings, and it's hopefully really going to start a great conversation among the entire community members about war and the service of war and what that means. So with that said, I want to introduce Wayne Nelson. He is a Vietnam vet, first and foremost. That's how he got involved in this project. He's very active with the Vietnam Veterans of America, and he has been an invaluable resource to us as we try and tackle the difficult issues associated with war, the Vietnam War. And we can't thank him enough, so thank you, Wayne. He's now going to say a few words.
Just want to thank all the veterans of Vietnam and all wars that came today. It's really, really great. Thanks for the school allowing the students to come out. I'd like to thank especially Alice Major and the other librarians, including Brianna, obviously. Can the rest of the library group people stand up that are here? Wonderful. It's a wonderful thing they're doing. They've really worked very hard on this for a long time, and it was a pleasure and a privilege to be able to work with them. And thank you for the Blackhawk crew for coming in. And I was in Huey helicopters back in the day, a little bit smaller, a little bit less powerful. But in a war situation, just as dangerous. But thank you all again, is all I have to say. Have a good day. Come to the other events, please.
So again, we'd just like to thank everybody for being here. We hope that you enjoyed the landing. I know that some of you also, a little bit later on, will have the opportunity to visit and meet with our crew and to tour the chopper. So it's just an exciting day for all of us. Again, if we could just have one more round of applause for our veterans today. It's just an honor to have you here at our school. Yes, I'd also like to again recognize the Timberlane Troops Organization from the high school who's been helping us out all morning and let us in our Pledge of Allegiance. They've really been great. And over the last 3 years, they've been really working hard to find ways to connect with our veterans organizations and their families in our four towns. So let's have a round of applause for our group here as well. So that concludes this portion of the morning. The 8th grade and junior class will be returning to the building. All of our guests, this is your opportunity to spend some time with our crew in the chopper. Ms. Major is going to lead you over there, and our Timberlane troops will lead our visitors over there. If you could, if you rise from the chairs and step to your right, we're going to be going across the street here and up the paved area. So students, you can step back into school. I believe it's third period for the juniors. Back at it. Reading, writing, arithmetic. Thank you so much. It's been awesome to have you out here. Thanks.
Not in this car. Like a video game? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll get a few.
Here we go, guys. Watch out.
It's pretty much still the same way that you have some commission officers, like the company commander, so 2 months. That's the Red Cross.
There you go. I mean, all they have to do is find the checklist, and then there you go. Much different. Well, you've been today.
About 15 minutes. So you can't check the exhaust. You need to sink in the socket. You make those.
You can say, hey, I'm backed up 93.5 miles to get the bottom of Ed Devereaux, Da Nang, 1966-68, U.S. Navy. I live in Hooksett, New Hampshire.
Okay, you can pass it.
Jim Cavadas, United States Marine Corps, 1 combat tour, 70 and 71. I presently live in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Ray Goulet, I spent 1 tour in Vietnam, Cu Chi. I was there during Tet. I went over as a private, came back as E6. Thank you.
Where I live in Atkinson. I'm in the Marine Corps. I was a sergeant in the Marine Corps. Served over in Kaneohe Bay Marine Air Station in Hawaii.
Jack Hayes, live in Atkinson, and I served in Vietnam as a captain in the Special Forces.
Dick Magoon, U.S. Air Force, Airman First Class. I live in Atkinson, New Hampshire. Served 4 years in the Air Force.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want me to do the same thing? No.
Dan Fredrickson, U.S. Army, Specialist 5. Live in Atkinson.
Just name and rank and where you live now, and where you served.
I lived in Atkinson, served in the Air Force during Cuban crisis, active duty.
Fred Petrowski, Hampstead, New Hampshire. World War II diesel submarines, rammed and sunk twice, circled by sharks, and all the good things that happen. Join the Navy, see the world.
Hi, Hank Gardner, Atkinson, New Hampshire, communication technician, 2nd class.
I was I was an electrician on an aircraft carrier, the USS Yorktown. We was the Cold War. Korea had just ended. Vietnam had not quite started, so it was a good time.
In your rank, when were you an electrician?
I was an electrician, mate 3rd.
Okay. Thank you so much for your service. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. But it was really cool working on aircraft.
I didn't work on aircraft. I was a ship's electrician. In other words, on the aircraft carrier, you have people that take care of the airplanes, and you have people that take care of the ship, because the ship becomes the airport.
Right, yeah.
So.
And those are special pilots that can land on that strip, too.
Yeah, I know nothing about the pilots, you know.
They're on their own side of the boat.
Yeah, and yeah. Actually, they're not even part of the ship. When the ship gets ready to leave and you're getting deployed, then an aircraft wing comes aboard. Like these guys, let's say these guys were a Navy wing, they'd come, when we get ready to leave, they'd come aboard. When we come back into port, then they would go back to their land base, wherever that was.
Okay, huh.
So.
That's cool. Well, thank you, though.
But you used helicopters on an aircraft carrier. Every time you had a takeoff of planes or anything, there was always a helicopter off to the side of the ship in case one of the aircraft went in the water. They could pick them up pretty fast. So.
I thought they just threw out lifesavers.
They're what now?
I thought they just throw out lifesavers.
Yeah. I wouldn't quite, but that's good thinking.
Yeah.
Wayne Nelson, Vietnam veteran, in Vietnam, and I was a helicopter crew chief, door gunner.
How long you served for?
I served 2 years in the Army. I served a year in Vietnam.
Okay, and where you reside now?
I live in Nottingham, New Hampshire.
Oh,
And I'm the veteran advisor to this program.
Ooh, okay, cool. That's nice.
And I'll be speaking tomorrow night. The visual dispatches from the Vietnam War. I'm one of the speakers.
Okay, well, thank you for your commitment to the program, and thank you for your service.
It's wonderful, great bunch of people. Thank you very much. All set?
I'm Kevin Major. I'm also a Timberlane graduate. Really proud to be here today. I served 28 years with the U.S. Army Reserves and the New Hampshire Army National Guard, the last 3 of which I commanded the 12th Civil Support Team Weapons of Mass Destruction. Probably my most challenging job as a soldier. I'm retired now, but today I'm very fortunate because I have my son here on this helicopter. He's a flight medic. He's Staff Sergeant Ethan Major, is assigned to this unit, and he's here today to demonstrate the helicopter for all of you. But I'm part of 3 generations of majors that serve in the United States Army. Very proud to do so.
Your rank?
Lieutenant Colonel.
Ooh, Lieutenant Colonel, nice.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've always been National Guard?
Was Army Reserves for 15 years and then National Guard.
Thank you for coming out. What did you do for the National Guard? Did you have occupational?
I started as an infantry officer, served most of my time as an infantry officer, and then I served in plans and operations for the National Guard. And then I built a team called the Weapons of Mass Destruction Civil Support Team, which is a reconnaissance team for terrorist events that might involve chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear agents. And I did that on active duty for 3.5 years.
And you enjoyed every moment of
Every bit.
years.
I encourage all young men and women to give the service a try, or even try the Army Reserves or the National Guard. It's probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Participate in the
I'm in Major.
Great to see you too.
Sergeant in U.S. Army.
Where you live now?
In Plasto.
Do you know how long you served for?
3 years.
Thank you for your service.
Staff Sergeant Thomas McGall. I served almost 2 years with the 3rd of the 187th Parachute Infantry Regiment, 101st Airborne Division.
Where you reside now?
I live in Fremont with my wife, Elaine.
Do not, sir.
Both of them.
Yep, he's got his. Way to go. Perfect.
Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. He's for yours, sir. Yep.
He's not.
And we've got 2 medics with us. So the medics are basically the same thing as a paramedic in an ambulance, except they ride on the back of a helicopter first. They have a couple extra things that they have to do, like go up and down on the hoist. So we lower them out of the aircraft all the way down to the ground and pick them up as we're hovering over them. And then we also have Sergeant Hendrickson down there. He's a mechanic. His job's responsible for keeping the aircraft going. So when we get in there, he tells us it's good to go. We know that we're safe. We can go.
Grab the other group, bring them out here to the side.
Oh my gosh.
You don't know? This was set up for me.
these aren't carbon fiber yet?
No, this is all plexiglass. The only real glass I got on
Equipment on the field. Pretty sure the runway's not long enough. Tell the Rangers where you're going.
I was at a thing on last Sunday for Harvard.
You may fall out. Oh no, I fell out of the helicopter. Oh no. Turn around, grab this, pull yourself back.
You want to show them what you do for a living?
Also, where'd you get that one? You're the medic. You're working on a patient. You're doing something. You're doing really cool medic things.
Great. Thank you very much. This is actually Ethan.
So all of a sudden, something happens and you start coming out of it.
So like all the way down?
Oh yeah, all up there quite a bit. Assume this isn't the state. I mean, nothing matters now.
Oh yeah. So if seriously the mission drop now,
How's it going?
Yeah, we got another Timberland grad.
You guys want to climb up in here?
Oh, okay.
You can also sit up front too if you want.
We borrow you for 1 minute? Just trying to figure out. How many of these helicopters? How many of these helicopters do you think there are in the air?
Oh man, I don't know. It's probably 10,000-ish that are in the
Oh, I want to check out what this is. Hey!
Have a good one.
Mr. Devaney's group.
First I want to
Devaney's group is on the move.
So this is it's basically a rescue seat, so we can pick people up if they're lost.
Nothing right now. You can.
Which ones? These?
Yeah,
For the pilots?
yeah,
Padded?
Yeah.
So the crew is able to stand up and look
A little
around.
bit lower.
So let's say we get on station.
Power right now.
We may be
That
there.
they'll sit right on it like that, and then there's a strap that'll go around and hook onto them. Yeah.
I'm getting onto
You want me to lift you up onto it? You just got to promise to hold on. There you go. Just make sure you're holding on. So there would be a strap that would go around underneath your arms, and it would hold you up like that. And then we can pick you up as far as 250 feet if we needed to. So if we had to pick you up and we couldn't land for whatever reason,
There he goes.
being able to give some pizza, lift your spirits a little bit.
I would do that again.
Right?
I would do that again.
Well, which one is trying to sit around? You're like, oh my god.
Man, I have no idea what happened.
What kind of training you have for this on this helicopter, or to train on all helicopters? Oh no! Start talking.
You wouldn't think you can hold this.
How many helicopters you work on? Is it good? What got you to the Air Force? Not Air Force, Army, or the are you like straight up Army, or like reserves, or National Guard? Okay.
Those are Army.
So, what did you serve, or is that all you had done as National Guard?
I've been in the National Guard for 14 years.
So these little knobs?
Nice.
So I've deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. I have a fleet of 10 helicopters at the hangar in Hampshire.
Okay.
I currently work as production control, which is basically taking care of the fleet of aircraft and helping the maintainers take care of each one of the helicopters.
Is that a 9-to-5 job, or is it?
Yep, we work 7 days a week. 7 o'clock in the morning till 4:30 at night. But we're also the hangar itself is a 24/7 operation because of the state mission. So if anything rescue-wise up in the mountains comes down, then they call us and we go out and get the person up the mountain.
They had something like that over the summer, didn't they? They had some
yeah, just
kid-
last month during Labor Day weekend, we went over and got somebody off the mountains.
Well, that's fun. So what made you become a mechanic? Love working on. Wait, what was your first thing you worked on?
I worked on the Hueys originally. I joined the unit because my mom was in the unit originally. So I've grown up being around this unit since I was a little kid, probably around 8 years old.
Okay.
And so what I've always wanted to do, I joined when I was 17 and still in my senior year of high school. And I went to school, and then when I got out, I was in the military, went to basic training at AIT, came back, and went right to Iraq, came home, and
I'm Kevin Costner.
became a mechanic as a full-time technician, and I've been doing it ever since.
I know.
Okay.
Went to Afghanistan in 2012 and 13 with the unit, and we started the new vampire mission, is what they call it, where we've transported people and actually gave blood intravenously on missions.
Makes sense.
Which is the first time
Yeah.
that they've ever done that in a Black Hawk. So.
So the unit's out of Manchester, not Manchester, Concord. Okay. So did you travel around at all with the unit? Like, it was always stays in Concord, the unit?
No, the helicopters get called on missions, and we do operations like Beyond the Horizon, where we go down to Guatemala and do support missions. We help out with humanitarian aid. We also do missions in other states, like for instance when Vermont had the hurricane go through a few years ago. We went up there and helped out with them because their helicopters and their unit was deployed, so they didn't have very many helicopters or mission crew members available. So we went up there with 4 helicopters 2 separate times.
Wow.
And helped out. So.
Come on, class. Let's head back. So you usually go out, like, did you get picked to go out for it today for mechanic on hand? Rotation?
No, that's usually, they have a list of people for the crew members as far as that goes. But mechanics are usually just available as necessary. If an aircraft breaks and they need it, then they'll call someone. But that's usually not the case. If they need a crew chief to go on the flight, which is 9 times out of 10 they need a crew chief to go on the mission. So.
Okay. Well, thank you. It looks like you did a nice job with the paint and everything. It looks great. Sounded great coming in.
I tried to give you the best looking one.
Exactly. Just bring it to the car wash and it'll be all set.
Yeah.
But it looks great. It's really cool that they've done like all the equipment they got on that thing. But so is that a V8 underneath the hood?
No, there are 2 GE T700 or 701 Delta model engines, one on each side, and a small APU engine to help get the bigger engine started, to turn the transmission, which turns main rotor head and tail rotor, get the aircraft flying.
Do you have like the service it like after 100 hours or something like that?
There's a lot of service. Every time we go fly, we have to do what's called a daily inspection, where you go through each section of the aircraft and inspect all the major components. Basically, the daily inspection has a window of a week, so if it doesn't fly, you're allowed to keep that aircraft in service for that week. But if it does fly, then it's good for 24 hours, and then you have to do another daily. So it's a little bit different, but there are inspections every 40 hours, every 120 hours. There's 90 days. There's all kinds of inspections that happen. That are so constantly working on the aircraft. Basically, I think for every hour of flight, they say it's 10 hours of maintenance, something like that. So there is a lot of maintenance that goes along with working with flying.
That's a long shelf life for these things too.
Yeah, I think the oldest one we have is a 79 Alpha helicopter. So the one we brought today is a fairly new helicopter. It's in the 80s, I think,
Okay.
an 86 model.
Yeah, fairly new.
Yeah, we're about to get new mic models in the state within the next few years, hopefully.
Yeah.
And they'll be brand new out of the shop. So
Nice. With that new factory smell. That's really cool. Thank you for your service. Man, you didn't know what to talk about, and you're rambling on. Good
I
for
know.
you. Sounding
I'm not
great.
very good at this, so I appreciate it.
Lots of knowledge. Great stuff. All right, thank you so much.
I'm Staff Sergeant Ethan Major. I'm a flight medic with the New Hampshire Army National Guard. Been doing it since 2008. I'm also a graduate of Timberlane High School. Graduated class of 2008. And let's see, what else do you want to?
What made you become a medic for the?
That's a really long kind of doozy one.
Did you want to be a? Just to generalize, like, what made you decide to, like, is it a family thing? Is it? Is just want to just bounce around, just jump out of helicopters and be a medic?
Kind of a whole bunch of different things all mixed in. Trying to think of how to summarize it. Hey, sir, help me out here. Why did I become a medic?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, you tell me.
I don't know.
To help people?
Here you go.
To help people?
There we go. He's got it.
He's got the answers.
You gotta stand?
Oh, I gotta stand here?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, where's this going, though? I don't want this on Channel 9 or anything.
No, it's not Channel 9, Channel 5. Jeez.
5.
I think the real answer that you became a medic is you wanted to join the Guard when you were 17 years old. And I said, I'm not going to sign you in until you tell me what you want to be. You weren't sure, so I said, go back and figure out what you want to be. And you liked the fire department, you liked that I was an EMT, and you wanted to be a medic. So we made sure that we found you a slot as a medic. But that's why you wanted to be a medic, because you wanted to join as soon as you could when you were 17 years old.
So, National Guard, I found, just had it was the best overall deal at the time. In addition to being able to work close to home, the National Guard lets you serve directly with your community. So for natural disasters and stuff like that, you can be deployed and literally be helping out your neighbors, versus active duty. You don't always have opportunities like that. There's also a lot of really good training opportunities in the Guard, whether you're going out to other countries on a combat mission or whether you're training other countries' militaries, stuff like that. I've had a whole bunch of opportunities for stuff like that. And then the other aspect is the education aspect. So in the National Guard, you can go to any state college with 100% tuition assistance, as long as you maintain a certain grade point average. So you can use that in addition to the GI Bill and any other education benefits or grants that you might have earned. So all in all, it's kind of the best option.
What kind of training did you have to get for a medic? Did you go to, like, medical school? Was it?
Yeah. So as a medic, I had to do Army's basic combat training. It was about 9 weeks of just basic soldier stuff, followed by a 16-week course on basically how to become a medic. Covers the EMT basic course as well as a whole bunch of combat-specific stuff like care under fire and tactical field care and just how that all kind of plays into things. Then I did a follow-on 4-week course for the flight medic school, which was basically covered advanced cardiac life support, international trauma life support, and stuff like that, as well as a few medical or flight medic specific stuff. And right now they actually have me going through a paramedic course, so hopefully at the end of the 9 months, if I do everything the right way, I'll have a paramedic license in addition. So.
Nice. Okay. Is it different levels you have to get for that kind of work to actually be a med flight?
Yeah. So every Army medic is an EMT basic. The Army recently put out a policy requiring all flight medics to be certified at the paramedic level. That's based off a couple big studies they found where states that already had all of their flight medics paramedic certified had a much higher save rate for critical patients versus other units. So that's worked its way down to being Army policy now. So all the flight medics, whether you're active, Guard, or Reserve, they're going through some sort of a paramedic course right now. So.
Have you participated in the vampire treatment, whatever it is, to give blood?
Yeah. I was I was part of the vampire program in 2013 in Afghanistan. We were the second unit in the Army, I believe, to do that, and basically we were carrying blood products on board the aircraft so we could provide in-flight transfusions to critical patients. And from what I understand, that's eventually going to be filtering down and becoming a one of the things that Medevac Anywhere is going to be able to do, Army-wide. So.
And you have like a whole blood bank inside the helicopter? Or you have like generalized like, oh.
Yeah, so the way that worked, we had a golden hour container, a little cooler, that had 2 units of blood on board. There was one unit of O negative packed red blood cells, universal donor, and then the other one was fresh frozen plasma, and that was AB positive. Those are both universal donor units, and we'd be able to give those based off the protocols we had. So.
It's kind of tough to figure out what kind of blood type they take, so it's good to just have the universal donor.
Exactly.
And how long do you plan on staying within the National Guard?
Planning on staying until they kick me out. I love what I do, and I want to keep doing it for as long as I can. So.
Do you have a big next challenge you're looking forward to?
Right now, it's just getting through paramedic school and passing everything. And then from there, it's basically going to be taking whatever courses I can to expand my skill set and learn more and be able to provide more for my job.
Well, thank you for your service. I hope you have a lot of fun flying around, jumping out. Do you get to rappel out of the helicopter?
Yeah, we have a rescue hoist in the back. It has 250 feet of usable cable. So in the event that we can't land or something like that, we can use that to drop the medic down and let him do his work.
It's a long drive. It must take a while to get down there.
Yeah, it's variable speed. The ones we have now, they kind of do it based on weight. But yeah, sometimes it can take about a minute or so.
Wow.
But.
Well, thank you again, and enjoy your flight out, and thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
Coming back to your homestead.
Well, thank you, and good seeing you again.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
So my name's Justin McCarthy. I'm a CW2 in the New Hampshire National Guard. I've got 18 and a half years in. I did 14 years as a ground guy, as a 12 Bravo, and I decided I wanted to be a pilot. So I went to New Hampshire National Guard, interviewed with them, and got accepted to be a pilot. One of the reasons why I wanted to be medevac and in the National Guard is to help the civilians of New Hampshire and actually play a role in the state emergency awareness and preparedness. And that's basically my life in a nutshell as far as the Army.
What kind of training you have to have for the helicopter pilot? You can fly anything, or you just...
Nah, so to be a helicopter pilot, you go down to Fort Rucker. You're down there for anywhere from 9 months to 2 years, and they train you in basic helicopter skills. And then once you get the basics down, they bring you into your main airframe, which in my case was a Black Hawk. If it's other aircraft, you go Chinook or fixed wing, and then you learn how to fly that specific one. You do come out with enough credentials to go get your commercial pilot's license.
Okay. So you just know backwards and forwards about the Black Hawk.
Yeah, basically the Black Hawk. We can both me and the other pilot there. We can fly your smaller helicopters. Like a Bell, things like that. Mm-hmm. We could fly any helicopter with a brief training, maybe an hour or two, and knowing the EPs and limits of that helicopter, we could make it work.
So why did you join? Like, you just kept on looking up. It's like, man, that looks like fun.
So yeah, on a couple deployments, unfortunately, I had to utilize medevacs. I had to put some of my guys on medevac birds due to injuries, and it's just one of those things. As a soldier, there's nothing better than if you're hurt in combat and seeing that medevac aircraft come in to take you away. There's no better feeling in the world than seeing that aircraft. And getting later in my career, I wanted to do something that was going to make an impact in how I could help soldiers. And when I was presented the opportunity to fly medevac, I couldn't turn it down.
Mm-hmm. Do you have to do all this intense training and all the stalls and for a flight?
So yeah, we train in a lot of our emergency procedures. We take check rides every year in those procedures, things like auto rotations, which is, if your engines happen to fail on you or something like that. But yeah, we practice them that way. In the event that there is emergency, we can respond to them and hopefully get everybody down to the ground in a safe manner.
You have things, God forbid, we get shot at.
So yep, the military has given us countermeasures that if we do get shot at, hopefully our countermeasures will let us know and we can react accordingly to the threat.
And you said you're an M2, ME2.
I'm a CW2.
CW2.
So that stands for Chief Warrant Officer 2.
Okay. And does it go Chief Warrant Officer?
Yep,
2
it starts.
and 1 and...
It starts at 1.
Okay, it goes.
So you start as a Warrant Officer 1, then you go to Chief Warrant Officer 2, all the way to 5. So
Okay.
CW 3, 4, 5.
And you're a co-pilot.
Yep. So there's basically 2 titles for the guys that fly. So you have pilot, which is just me. I'm a normal pilot. Then you have a pilot in command, which Mr. Shallow is the pilot in command for this mission. So basically, he's in charge of the overall mission, making sure that all the steps are taken, and then I back him up to make sure, okay, yep, that is right, and so on. And then at any point, he can fly the aircraft, and I can do the radios and communication and nav, and he can do the flying, or vice versa. I can fly, and he can do the nav. We're both trained in both aspects.
Did you get to fly through a hurricane or any?
No, we don't. If there's adverse weather, unless there's a really big emergency and the commander has signed off on that, we don't fly in adverse weather. That being said, if the commander feels the need for us to go out in some sort of snowstorm or bad weather, we'll look at the risks and weigh that option. And if the gain is worth saving somebody's life, we feel we can get them safely, then the commander might allow us to go.
Well, thank you for all your service. I know you live in town.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
And you plan on attending the different, how often are you up in Concord?
Every day right now.
Okay.
Every day but Saturday and Sunday. So, but I don't mean to be short with you. We're just going to start wrapping stuff up.
Oh, I understand.
So I'm going to go close up the engine cowlings and stuff like that.
All right. Thank you for your time and service.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Time to head back in. Yeah, stay with me. Watch him pick up.
No, it's not. Not yet. Can you take it? Someone could take it.
I mean, you can't do a selfie with that?
No.
Up and down.
We gotta grab the water bottles. These will fly up.
Okay, yeah, they're right here. Okay. Okay. Oh, I got that. What's that? Sure, why not?
You all want one of them? Quick one, let's go. Quick.
On a cargo door.
Thought we were getting in here. Yeah, the crew's gonna join you in just a second.
Hey guys, they want a picture.
Oh.
Hey, they want a picture, so you guys want to come over here?
Should we go that way?
Yeah, probably. We're going now. Right?
Alright, save my spot.
What are we doing? Jump over here with us.
Saving spot.
I will. I just...
Who's organizing? Keep your spot open.
Spot open.
There is.
Let's go.
The gap. It's a great gap.
Thank you.
That's a great shot.
Yeah.
And focus.
Okay.
Thanks for the sandwiches and the water. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I did.
Oh look, now we got shade.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Okay, see how it came out.
Yeah, you might have to.
I saw a red light going on. I don't know what that meant.
Yes, thank you very much for the invite. It was awesome.
For a radio. Pistol mags, rifle mags.
That comes with being a pilot.
C-cell radio. Bit of radio would be there.
So we'll be over where we were.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and then we just need to make sure that the water bottle.
Yeah, just two on the air.
You guys want to grab those on the way by? Just make sure we get everything picked up.
Panels with all sorts of medical and survival stuff.
Yeah, I think take on one.
Yeah, it increases your overall profile.
Yeah, actually, you're flying in. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, he's always invited. You go. John Shell's
Yep,
missed
exactly.
me. You gotta tell me the date.
Yeah, we got our little.
You gotta know days in advance of the show.
Yeah, it's a little bit slower than the one on the Enterprise. About 150 feet per minute. So.
What is the unclassified?
Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. Been a pleasure.
What is the unclassified top ground speed?
Top ground speed, I want to say.
Well, you want me to bring the children?
Maybe not. So I want to say.
Really?
Now that guy maybe.
Hey, Mr. Shaw.
What's up?
Top speed.
Huh?
Top speed.
193.
193.
Really?
Yeah.
That ground speed? That ground speed?
No, knots. So it's nautical miles, yeah. I don't know what.
Yeah.
So if we were doing
I can do the conversion later.
well, if we were doing 193 and had a 100-mile-an-hour tailwind, though, we could be doing 293.
Yeah.
These things move.
Yep.
These things move well.
You very rarely ever get up. The fastest I've ever gone is 170.
But they're capable of it.
Yeah.
Then 175.
Interesting wing design. You've got swept wings at the end of the blades. They're not straight. But
Mike
you're talking about swept at the end?
yeah.
Yeah, that helps reduce the blade tip vortices. Blade tip vortices, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, so you cuts more smoothly for the ear.
Yeah. The new mic balls have a downward.
What are the totally unique features that stab the other?
I mean, they're all pretty much standard across the Army. We use the same airframe. We've got a stabulator that moves.
So the airframe on this versus other helicopters, not helicopters. First one designed with the survivability of the occupants in the event of a mishap is like the primary design of the airframe. So we got those big struts that will collapse down. Okay. The tail will collapse down.
Oh, I see. So
those
the struts will fly up.
We take off.
So those will absorb some things. And then the pilots in their little armored buckets, they've got other struts on their seats. So their seats are straight down. And then see the design on the passenger seats, the crew seats, where there's nothing underneath.
Yep.
So those little things that they're hanging from will pop.
Let's make sure
I think it's 5Gs or something. They'll collapse down and hopefully absorb a little bit of that as well. So if you're auto rotating and you land the way you're supposed to, hopefully it'll all work out versus having like a crazy load going forward or sideways and carry or whatever.
Now, is there a direct drive between the main engine and the tail rotor, or is that a shaft drive?
Yep. So there's a that little cover that he's closing right now. That's the tail rotor drive shaft. We have an intermediate gearbox down there, kind of where it meets.
Okay. No problem. He's good. All right.
Yeah. So that goes to the intermediate gearbox, which then runs up the tail to the tail rotor gearbox, and then it's 4 turns of that for every 1 turn of this.
Cool. All right,
Wow.
you guys do gotta get out. I've been scolded already, so.
Hey, good seeing you.
It's been great seeing you. Wish I had more time to spend, but I had to do that teacher stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
it's one of those things.
Where are you stationed?
Concord.
Okay, awesome. What a big machine.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big machine. All right.
Wait, can I go ride?
Sure.
I'll hang up your back. What booze? Oh, I can't get it. The booze. I gotta run up to the booth.
Sorry, there. Sorry.
Had we known that, Rusty would have filmed from the top of the booth.
I'll run right down there now.
Well, I was just thinking that.
We got a 10-minute checklist.
school zone. Yeah, on the school zone. It's okay.
That's one thing a lot of the kids are saying. It's like, no machine guns right here. It's like, you really think they bring them?
Yeah, I think they're gonna bring that up. I understand how only the middle schoolers and juniors got to look at this. It's a little unfair. Like, what about senior
Seniors got to
privileges?
look at it, just depending on what hall you were.
It depended on whether or not you stuck out of class.
No, it wasn't. Britt, when everybody came in after it landed, there was like our whole
Yeah, I
senior
just about
class.
to, yeah.
It was everybody in this hallway, and then
It better before the buses show up. They'll
they
block
said
our
we
way.
could go out if we
Yeah.
had a free period. I know.
We have a land on our field, football field, in the Augusta. How many got knocked out? Oh, he's an 8th grader.
Yeah, I don't.
I wasn't there, but I heard about it. Guy came around with some guy did this. Did 180. He didn't even do the whole swim. Straight back. What did he do? Fucking med flight out of there.
What do you think, Logan? Pretty cool?
Mark the Aspen. Mark the Aspen.
Don't they say
No, you have to be on this side. Hello.
It's okay. Ken, I don't know why they were letting him out the door.